Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Okay, hello everyone. This is Roger Chen, and I'm from the University of San Francisco, representing Center for Asia Pacific Studies. And today we are very pleased to talk to Pramin, about to discuss his company. So Pramin, why don't you kind of briefly introduce yourself as well as your company, the BotGauge. So then after that, we can start our conversation.
Sure, Raja. Thanks for inviting me, first of all. Pramin here, CEO and co-founder of BotGauge. So, we have built an AI QA agent for SaaS companies, especially for B2B SaaS, where we help them to release faster, remove testing being the bottleneck. That being said, usually companies struggle to reach coverage even after 4, 5 months. And here we'll be able to increase their coverage in 2 weeks of time uh, by with the AAQA engine which we have built. So that's the just about the company. Yeah, happy to talk more about it.
Thank you very much for this introduction.
Barrier and organizational changes for AI agent adoption.
In your context, uh, many companies, they need to change something in order to adopt new technologies, right? Even engineers.
Right.
That is the context. I asked this question because you want to sell your kind of a testing AI agent to replace some of their code testing work. Uh, so does that require customer companies to change something? That's why I asked that question. Or maybe
Got
let
it.
me kind of start from that. Have you talked to some prospective customers?
Yeah, definitely. See, that's what I was trying to say, right? The only change which I think they have to do is the mindset, right? As I was
Mm,
saying, the code, they get go into the loop of okay, I need to have more. A recent conversation with one of the CTO. They're saying, okay, this is the outcome which we build. So you are able to achieve only X amount of test cases in X amount of time. So to be precise, they were able to build only 500 test cases in 5 months, and they have 4 Selenium testers, right? And the outcome which we are providing was like that 500 test cases we'll be able to build in 3 weeks, right? After analyzing the infra and we being sent the AIQA agent, right? So outcome is on in front of the table, and other place is like the code repository having more control over it. So that's the mindset shift you need to go through, where okay, I am giving this to a QA agent and it is trying to deliver an outcome. So what do you say? Okay, let's not delve more into it, thinking, okay, should you replace the entire QA team or not? No. We're saying, okay, let's start with 200 test cases. Maybe in a week's time, we'll able to build for you. The QA agent will do the end-to-end testing for the 200 test cases. See the value. Then what the CTO can ideally do once the 200 test cases is offloaded from the current in-house team, that in-house team can be utilized to perform certain edge cases. For example, currently the agent takes care only of the web-based application. If there are some components in desktop or certain edge cases, that can be dealt with. So as a company or any company, the mind shift from the code repository or an in-house team to an outcome-oriented work, right? That becomes more important. So I would psychologically say that it's the mind shift. That is the first most important entity. A second more important, not important or just a operational in things like the application should be given access. That goes by default, where they have to create a test environment. Obviously, if they're testing right now in a dev instance, that dev instance access should be given. Then any kind of materials they have, let it be a video requirement, PRDs, anything which they use, or a manual test cases which they have built across, or even a uh, document which they have, maybe it's a holistic document. So anything which can help the agent to start faster or get more context. So these are the two major parameters. So I would say like second parameters, once they decide their mind, it is just 20%. 80% is the shift from an operational to an outcome-oriented methodology.
Let me clarify, actually. That's very, very good, actually, kind of categorize these two into two big category issues. I think that's very useful for companies. So let me kind of go deeper with the the first issue you say, which is 80%. It's are you talking about the from controlling the code to outcome oriented? Are you specifically saying um, as a company use your service, for example, they can definitely kind of release some labor, release some productivity. So they can use those kind of extra productivity or labor to do something else that they couldn't do in the past. Is that what you're talking about?
That's right. That's right. So that's the ideal outcome from a uh, different perspective, right? So when the critical task is taken care and offloaded to an agent, right? Agent which is under production, where they can do the end-to-end test cases. Ideally, what happens? That means the previous example, the 500 test cases. The 200 is offloaded. They have only 300 test cases in place. And that 300 test cases, they can strategize what to be dealt with. Or from the 200 onboarding to the agent, should they onboard more test cases? Then the human element can focus more on the strategy. There comes the next shift, right? Or the next question. What everyone should focus on right now. So according to me, any team member will become a strategist, right, on trying to incorporate different agents into play or integrate agents into their ecosystem and build a more robust outcome-oriented system. So
Oh,
that
okay.
so that's how the job is going to shift from a very specialized to a strategist generalist perspective.
Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. In other words, actually, they can use the time which is freed up by the agent through the operation to have what you call the more strategic thinking. How
Right,
to
right,
robust the systems, how to better
right,
products, how to prioritize different test case. So that kind of requires more strategic level thinking in a sense,
right,
right?
right, right,
Okay. So that's what you call the mindset shift, which I think can make a lot of sense. It does
right.
make a lot of sense. So now let's look at the behavior part of it, because even though you say it's kind of a 20%. So could you elaborate? Because as I hear you, in order to effectively use your or work with your company system, they need to have, if I understand correctly, you mean they need to have a lot of data, a lot of document ready, and to feed into the agent. Why this is a difficult, why this is a big issue, actually, you want to point it out.
It's not a big issue. It's like certain that company. So again, it comes into why I mentioned 80% is of the mind shift and 20% is operational. In the operational, everything can be customized, right? Consider a company who doesn't have any document, doesn't have any user guide, right? Even though then what we can do, we can see the most critical flows in place, just onboard that flow first, inject into the agent, and that agent will start building the next set of functionalities. So it learns from the current flows. So without any document also, we can get started, right? So once that 80% is sorted out, rest everything is just an operational customization in place. So that's why I was trying to answer your question, what a company needs to do to start with an BotGauge QA agent. So all they have to do, 80% they prepare them for an outcome-oriented system, and 20% is giving the access, providing the right inputs of the critical flows that can be taken care over a period.
Is it possible? Because I've seen many, many cases when companies try to do something new, try to change some process, they run into this kind of a turf war, or they run into people don't want to change their habits. Like old habits is hard to change. Do you
Right.
think,
Mhm.
do you think that you may run into those operational challenges?
Definitely, yes, right. When it comes to mid-sized enterprises, definitely the operation challenges will come. But end of the day, now every company is trying to prepare themselves to increase their efficiency and adopt AI tools. Because they know that if they don't adopt, they're going to lose out the opportunity and business as well, right? So now every company has the open mindset to adopt, but definitely there'll be a lot of user friction, right? The management is in the opinion to adopt the AI agent or AI ecosystem, but the users try to have friction because they feel like they're going to lose the job, right?
Oh,
So we,
that's a big thing. That's a big
yeah,
thing.
that's the big thing. So there's a lot of user friction. But in that, one of the company which went to the same format, what happened was like the user who adopted, so there were 10 sets of users, right? So eight of them thought, okay, I'm going to lose the job. Two of them were like, no, I need to adopt the AI. So the two-person who adopted, they became a strategic position. They were promoted as a strategic position. The person who did not adopt got reallocated to a different department altogether. But as you know, the reality is that end of the day, the people who doesn't adopt to the AI is gonna eventually become like in a different zone altogether, right? Where they have to move on to a different field or a different ecosystem. Yeah.
Thank you for watching.